Hello and welcome to Glen Foerd. We want to thank you for visiting and immersing yourself in this space. Throughout this abridged virtual tour, you'll be visiting the Rathskeller, the Eclectic Art Gallery, and the two upper floors of the mansion. The Glen Foerd Conservation Corporation works to preserve the estate and its history while also supporting the artistic culture surrounding the space. It does this by facilitating programs involving environmental, historical, and artistic aspects throughout the estate. These programs and events are for people of all ages, and you can learn more about them on the Glen Foerd website. The house was originally built by Charles McAllister in 1850. Throughout its tenure as a residence, it has been renovated and updated, most notably in 1903. The Foerderer family, who bought the mansion after McAllister in 1895, began to greatly enlarge the house by adjoining a new wing for service staff, adding a dining room, a grand central staircase, the art gallery, and the pipe organ. Foerderer also updated and redecorated the house, adding a stained glass dome above the staircase, ornamental plaster moldings along the ceiling, parquet floors, and other ornate details to further enhance the home. Therefore, certain parts of the house were simply enhanced during these renovations. One of these places being our first stop on the tour, the Rathskeller. This room was present when the house was originally built and was used as the kitchen. It later got expanded on and enhanced when the Foerderer family began renovations. When you first enter, you're greeted by this chandelier. This type of chandelier is referred to as a Leuchterweibchen. With the little lady and the antlers sprouting backwards, they can be seen as far back as the 1300s. They gained notoriety and popularity specifically through Northern Europe from the late 14th century throughout the start of the 17th century. Immediately behind the chandelier is his barrel, which bears the initials of Robert Foerderer, the man who bought the house in 1895. He began the previously mentioned renovations on the house, but never got to actually live here, as he passed away before the renovations were complete. Through here, you'll see the main part of the room. Back when the house was lived in, the Rathskeller was also called the billiards room. This was because, of course, billiards was played here. There used to be a large table in the middle of the room, and people would come down here to drink, gamble, and relax. This room was built with gambling and drinking in mind, as you can see the suits of cards and laid in the chairs around the room. The seats along the back wall are raised, so people playing could see the entire pool table. Moving back over to the right side of the room, there's a copy of what is called the Cocowanuck map, which was originally created in 1934. The map depicts the Philadelphia region before colonization, bearing the names that the Lenni-Lenape people gave to the area's natural landmarks. The Delaware River is labeled with its original name, Maker's Kitten, which means the Great Tidewater River. The Lenni-Lenape people are also sometimes called the Delaware people, after the British renamed the river for the governor of Jamestown, Lord de la Warr. Pocassin Creek, which marks the northern boundary of Glen Foerd's estate, gets its name from a Lenape settlement known as the Pocasink, meaning the land of many mice. Opposite from this is the mantle. The beer steins are decorative art pieces. They're a recent acquisition to the Glen Foerd collection as a part of a long-term loan agreement. The trophies, however, were awarded to the Foerderer family's Ayrshire cattle. The family farm used to be located on the opposite side of the Pocassin, where the Salem Harbor apartment complex is currently located. Moving upwards in the house, we see the large, ornate staircase. These stairs actually used to be on your left immediately upon entering through the main door. They were moved over during Foerderer's renovations. On the right at the top of the stairs is the renowned Haskell pipe organ. This was also added during the renovations in 1904 by the C.S. Haskell Company. It was originally constructed in 1902, but had to be installed later as the rest of the house was not yet completed. The 121-year-old pipe organ was brought back to life in 2024 through maintenance and repair. It's a two-manual pedal pipe organ with a roll-playing mechanism. This allows for a digital interface which allows for automatic roll feeding into the organ. When the gallery was being built, Robert Foerderer, who was still alive at this point, purchased $18,000 worth of art to fill the gallery. What the family didn't know was that a large amount of the paintings purchased were borderline forgeries. The paintings were often mislabeled to try and swindle rich art collectors. Here, we see a painting labeled as a Monet. While the short, unblended brushstrokes may look quintessentially Monet to the untrained eye, we know that this is one of the paintings that were mislabeled in an attempt to enhance their value. Florence would often entertain in the gallery, as opposed to the dining room or other large rooms. She had much more furniture in the gallery, as she often had large gatherings in here. In the 90s, Glen Foerd received grants from the Institute of Museum Services and the Historic House Museum Challenge grant program to restore the art gallery. The floors and walls were redone and the skylight was repaired. During this repair, the skylight was installed with a special UV filter to protect the art from UV rays. Moving on to the next room, we have the ladies' study. This room is also referred to as the morning room or the green room. Take notice of the bas-relief sculpture on the half circle above the fireplace. The sculpture depicts Florence holding her daughter. You can also see a small bust of one of Florence's children on the mantel. This room was used as Florence's study and for other private writing needs. This painting in the hall is of a man named William Tonner. This was Florence's husband. As you can see, this painting was done by the renowned artist Violet Oakley. Oakley is well known for her colorful, large-scale works, like her murals in the Pennsylvania State Capitol building. However, she sustained herself by doing smaller portraits like this one. Moving on, this room was Florence's. This wallpaper is obviously not original. It's actually part of an installation through our Artist in Residence program. An openness to all things lovely was created and installed in 2019 by an artist named Cindy Stockton Moore. This project incorporates Florence Forder Tonner's art, poetry, and artifacts interwoven with contemporary poetry, inquiries into the nature of collecting, ideas of excess, and the sympathetic magic of artifact. Onward, we can see Caroline's room. Caroline was Robert Forder's wife and mother to Florence. She had assumed ownership of the property after Robert's death, becoming the sole owner. As we go up, you'll notice the abstract mirrors on the wall. These mirrors are also a part of an artist-in-residence installation. An Archive of Desire by Jennifer Johnson works to explore the longing that Gilded Age estates provoke. The mirrors on the wall are actually placed on a bookshelf to reflect the mansion's opulent interior. Further up, on the landing of the third floor, we have the rest of Jennifer Johnson's work. These miniatures of the house and surrounding aspects draw attention to the labor of domestic workers alongside the prominence of the owning class. And with that, we have the end of our virtual tour through Glen Foerd. We would like to thank you for visiting and watching this tour, and we encourage you to learn more about our programs. You can ask an employee or visit our website to see upcoming events. We look forward to see you visiting again soon. Thank you.